Wow.
Yeah.
This issue of Wonder Woman #4 starts off with a kid saying, "Holy win, #2person tag stay," as he's clinging to Wonder Woman's leg while she's flying high above the world.
It really grabs your attention.
For sure.
And that contrast between the awe and wonder of that opening scene and what happens next is pretty jarring.
Yeah, you turn the page, bam, it's like a punch to the gut.
It really is.
You go from this hopeful image to this news report about the aftermath of Wonder Woman's latest battle.
And it's not a good aftermath.
No, not at all.
They're focusing on the suicide of a U.S. soldier who was involved in that fight against Wonder Woman.
And already people are turning against her.
Yeah, public opinion is shifting fast.
It's crazy how quickly they're turning her into a villain.
It makes you wonder if it's all part of some bigger plan.
Right, who's pulling the strings here? Because it feels very orchestrated.
Yeah, we see the president getting ready to address the nation, and you just know it's not going to be good.
He's about to officially declare Wonder Woman an enemy in his state.
It's a huge escalation.
And then we get that brief glimpse of this mysterious figure, the Sovereign, who seems to be behind it all.
They're definitely up to no good.
It's giving me serious Puppet Master vibes.
But in the midst of all this darkness and political maneuvering, we meet Jack.
Yeah, Jack's story is heartbreaking.
He's this sweet kid battling a terminal illness.
And his dying wish is to spend a day with Wonder Woman.
Talk about a tearjerker.
I know, right?
And Wonder Woman doesn't hesitate.
She's so compassionate.
She whisks him away in her invisible jet to Themyscira.
Themyscira. Wow, that's pretty awesome.
I know, right? Not just some amusement park or something, but to her home.
It shows how much she cares about making this a truly special experience for him.
Definitely. And their interactions on Themyscira are so heartwarming.
She shows him all these Amazonian traditions. They share stories.
And there's this one scene where Jack is clinging to her leg as they're flying over the island.
Huh.
He's just this little kid filled with awe and wonder, and she's so patient and gentle with him.
It's such a sweet escape from all the drama and tension that's unfolding back in the U.S.
Speaking of which, things aren't looking good back in the world.
Not at all.
Steve Trevor's actually having to physically defend Wonder Woman's honor against a group of servicemen.
Really?
Yeah, they're ready to condemn her right then and there.
It's getting ugly.
And, with public opinion turning against her so quickly, it's hard to see how she's going to be able to bridge that gap and maintain her status as a symbol of hope.
It's scary how easily people can be swayed by fear and propaganda.
Yeah, it makes you think.
For sure.
But before we go any deeper into that, we
Yeah.
wanted to remind you, awesome folks out there.
If you're enjoying this deep dive into Wonder Woman #4,
Hit that subscribe button and tap the notification bell so you don't miss a single episode of Cosmic Comic Clips.
we don't want you to miss out on all the great content we have coming your way.
Okay, now back to Wonder Woman #4.
So there's this other storyline running parallel to Diana and Jack's adventure,
Yeah, it's a bit lighter in tone.
which is a nice change of pace.
We shift over to the Fortress of Solitude, where Wonder Woman's daughter Trinity is being babysat by none other than the Super Sons,
Boy.
Jonathan Kent, Superman's son, and Damian Wayne, Batman's son.
Now that's a recipe for chaos.
You said it!
Those two together are like a ticking time bomb.
And to make matters worse, Trinity ends up coming into contact with a Black Mercy plant.
A Black Mercy?
Yeah, remember that's that parasitic plant from Superman lore?
Oh yeah, that traps its victims in a fantasy world.
Right.
Talk about a nightmare.
And poor Trinity gets caught in its grip.
So what kind of fantasy does she end up in?
Well, this is where it gets interesting.
Okay, I'm all ears.
She envisions herself as Wonder Woman.
How fitting.
I know, right? But here's the twist.
Both Jonathan and Damian manifest within her fantasy as competing versions of Superboy.
What?
Yep, they're both vying for her attention.
So it's like a love triangle, but with Superboys.
You could say that.
Oh, man, that's hilarious. So while Trinity's living out her superhero fantasy back in the real world, Jonathan and Damian are bickering and trying to figure out how to free her from the Black Mercy.
I bet that's a sight to see.
It's pure comic book gold.
So we've got these two storylines running parallel, one full of political intrigue and the weight of the world.
And the other with superhero shenanigans and sibling rivalry.
It's a nice balance.
It keeps you on the edge of your seat.
Definitely.
It's a really clever way to explore different facets of heroism and responsibility.
And it leaves you wanting more.
Oh, for sure.
Can't wait to see what happens next.
Me too. Welcome back to our deep dive into Wonder Woman #4.
So last time we left off, Trinity was trapped in that Black Mercy fantasy world with the Super Sons trying to get her out.
And things are getting pretty wild inside that fantasy world.
So she's still picturing herself as Wonder Woman, right?
Yeah, she's like soaring above this futuristic city.
Cool.
But she's not alone.
I thought you said Jonathan and Damian were in her fantasy too.
They are. They've like manifested as two totally different versions of Superboy.
Two Superboys.
Yeah, and they're both trying to impress her.
That's gotta be weird.
Damien's Superboy is all dark and brooding like his dad.
That figures.
And Jonathan's is more like the classic Superboy, you know, bright and hopeful.
So two sides of the same coin.
Exactly. And they're constantly clashing.
What about Trinity? Is she like bothered by their rivalry?
Nah, she seems to be loving it.
She's got two Superboys fighting over her.
She's totally in control, even if it's all just a dream.
Meanwhile, back in reality,
Jonathan and Damien are still struggling with that Black Mercy.
they gotta get that thing off of her.
Damien's all for just ripping it off.
Yikes.
But Jonathan's worried about hurting her.
Makes sense.
It's like their personalities are playing out and how they're dealing with this whole situation.
So how do they decide what to do?
Well, while they're arguing, we cut back to Trinity's fantasy, and things have escalated.
Oh no.
The two Superboys are now in a full-on brawl.
They're fighting over her.
Yep, like something straight out of a comic book.
I bet the art is awesome in this scene.
Oh, it is.
But it's not just mindless action, right?
No, there's a deeper meaning here.
I was thinking the same thing.
Damien's Superboy represents that calculated strategic side of heroism.
And Jonathan's is all heart and instinct.
Exactly. And Trinity, she steps in and puts a stop to their fighting.
Good for her.
She's like reminding them that they need to work together.
So she's learning a valuable lesson even in her dream world.
You got it.
So what happens with the Black Mercy?
Back in the real world, Jonathan and Damien finally agree on a plan.
What do they come up with?
Damien remembers that certain sound frequencies can disrupt alien plants.
So they're going to try to like sonically blast the Black Mercy.
Pretty much.
Hope it works.
It's risky, but it's their best shot.
Did they pull it off?
It takes some teamwork, but they manage to create a device that emits the right frequency.
Nice.
And it works.
Yay.
The Black Mercy lets go of Trinity,
She's free.
and her fantasy world starts to crumble around her.
Poor Trinity. She probably doesn't want to wake up.
I know, but at least she's safe.
True.
And Jonathan and Damien, they share this look of accomplishment.
They did good.
Even though they drive each other crazy, they were able to work together when it mattered.
So now that Trinity's safe, what about the other storyline?
Right, we left off with Steve Trevor in that confrontation with those angry servicemen.
Yeah, what happens next?
We see Steve really struggling with his loyalties.
He's got to be torn.
He believes in Wonder Woman, but he's also a soldier.
It's like he's caught between two worlds.
And meanwhile, the Sovereign is still working their plan.
They're good at what they do.
They're manipulating the media, spreading lies.
Trying to make Wonder Woman look like the bad guy.
And it's working.
People are so quick to believe the worst.
And we see Diana and Jack on Themyscira. They're having this quiet moment together.
It's nice to see them get a break from all the chaos.
And Jack asks Diana this really interesting question.
Oh, what's that?
He asks her why she left Themyscira in the first place.
That's a big question.
It is.
And Diana starts thinking back to when she first arrived in man's world.
We get these flashbacks of her past battles. We see her struggles.
And her triumphs.
It's a powerful reminder of everything she's been through.
She's come a long way.
And Jack, he's just in awe of her.
He wants to be just like her when he grows up.
Oh.
But just when you think things might be looking up for Diana, the issue ends on a cliffhanger.
The Sovereign's plan is about to reach its climax.
Oh, man.
That tension is building.
I can't wait to see what happens.
Me too.
Okay, so we're back, and things are about to hit the fan.
The president's about to give his big speech, and it's not looking good for Wonder Woman.
Steve Trevor is standing right there in the crowd with everyone else.
And he's made a decision.
He's wearing a Wonder Woman pin on his uniform.
It's a small gesture, but it speaks volumes.
Yeah, he's showing his support for her, even though it could cost him.
And then the president starts talking.
It's bad. Yeah.
He's basically saying Wonder Woman is a threat to America.
Trying to turn everyone against her.
It's pretty scary how quickly he's able to manipulate the crowd.
But then there's this interruption.
Wonder Woman's invisible jet comes out of nowhere and lands right in the middle of the rally.
Wow, talk about making an entrance.
And Jack's still with her?
It's a powerful image.
Wonder Woman doesn't say anything.
She just stands there.
Her presence is enough.
It's like she's saying, I'm not hiding.
She motions to Jack sitting in the jet.
This little kid who just wanted to spend the day with his hero.
It completely throws a wrench in the president's plans.
He's trying to paint her as a villain.
But here she is, showing compassion and kindness.
The crowd starts to get confused.
They don't know what to think.
The Sovereign must be freaking out.
Their plan is backfiring.
But they're not giving up that easily.
We see a sniper on a nearby rooftop.
Oh no.
He takes aim at Wonder Woman.
They're really going to kill her.
It looks like it.
And then Jack jumps out of the jet and shields Wonder Woman with his body.
This little kid throws himself in front of a bullet.
He's trying to protect her.
It's incredible.
Let's see. Okay.
Wonder Woman deflects the bullet,
Wow.
but it's a close call.
Everyone is in shock.
The crowd realizes that the president has been lying to them.
The Sovereign's plan has completely backfired.
Public opinion shifts back in Wonder Woman's favor.
What about Jack?
Diana takes him home to his family.
Mm-hmm.
They share this bittersweet goodbye.
It's sad, but also hopeful.
We see the Sovereign watching from the shadows.
They're not happy.
Wonder Woman may have won this round, but the Sovereign's vendetta is far from over.
I guess the fight for truth and justice never really ends.
So that wraps up our deep dive into Wonder Woman number 4.
It was a roller coaster of emotions.
We had political intrigue, superhero action, and a touching story about a little boy's dream come true.
It really makes you think about what it means to be a hero.
And how hope can triumph, even in the darkest of times.
If you enjoyed this deep dive, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to Cosmic Comic Clips for more.
We'll be back soon with another exciting adventure.
See you next time.